Z Grills 1100 2B burn-off. You know, to be or not to be. Now this pit they're calling the Multitasker, and it's even Wi-Fi. From what I've seen so far, I think this is Z Grills' best pit that they're bringing to the market. So grab a bag of pellets, Raymond. We're gonna amplify some backyard barbecue fun. From my experience, the pits that I've gotten from Z Grills have always been packaged very well. The unboxing was smooth as silk and nothing was out of place. Because you never know, sometimes when you open up that lid, something might come flying out and smack you in the face. This is also the easiest assembly that we've ever done on a Z Grills. All you gotta do is put on the legs, some brackets, handles, and the front shelf. And here at Dead Broke Barbecue, if you're the one that's in charge of reading the instructions on how to assemble a pit and you miss a step, you gotta pay the price. The unboxing and the assembly on the Multitasker took right about an hour for us to complete. So now we're at the fun part. We get to fire it up and do the burn off. Your first step, plug it in. Press your power on and hit the start button. And this pit has a preset temperature of 275 degrees. I didn't put any of the cooking components after we got done with the assembly into the pit. If you did, take them all out and expose that fire pot. You want to check and make sure that the auger is turning, and then put your hand above the fire pot and feel for some air movement. And after a couple minutes, check that igniter rod to make sure that it's turning red. After you've made sure that all of those things are working, press and hold the start button for 3 seconds. And now it's gonna go into the shutdown cycle, and that's gonna take about 10 minutes. So this is a great time for you to add some pellets in that hopper. Take them and just pour them in. Close up the little hopper lid. Now that it's shut down, go ahead and hit your start button again, and press in the button, and we're gonna turn it up to 500 degrees. We're gonna hold the prime button down, and that'll speed up the process to get those pellets to the fire pot. Again, hold the start button down for 3 seconds. I see that my igniter's working. I have pellets that have made it to the fire pot, so I'm skipping the step where you ignite the pellets and then go immediately into the shutdown. We're just gonna get this pit fired up. So grab a can of Pam or any type of cooking spray that you have around the house. We'll just start spraying it down, because this actually makes your cleanups a lot easier. You're putting a little bit of a coat on this pit. Get the sides sprayed down too. You don't have to go crazy. Just get it coated up a little bit. I'm gonna let nature take its course. I'm not gonna spray anything on the top lid. So after it's shut off, just turn on that start button again. I'm gonna wait until these pellets start to ignite. You can see that I'm starting to get a little bit of smoke in that fire pot, and this is a perfect time for those gloves that they send you. We're starting to catch our flame. We'll take this little heat deflector, spray that up good, get that put in here, just like that. Get the plastic off the drip pan, spray this backside down, and do the same on the top side. Just a little bit. We can always hit it up when we're in the pit itself if you want to. You can see that this heat deflector is already starting to turn that patina color for us. Take our drip pan, and you got these little notches and grooves over on this side, and then just get them on like so. You want to make sure that these little catches go through those slots. Take your bottom racks, get them in, get one like so, and get the other one in. I'm not spraying any Pam on those because they're enamel coated. And lastly, our top shelf. That in. My afterburner just kicked in, and it's starting to burn pretty clean, so we can close up the lid, and we're gonna leave it at this 275 degrees for 30 minutes. I always do my burn-offs at a lower temp because I want that paint to get a little extra time to cure. I know this pit is powder coated, but I've seen a lot of people in my comments say they rushed their burn-off and their paint started to peel. But you don't have to do it this way. You can crank this all the way up to 500. I'm just doing what my dad taught me a long time ago when he had an auto body shop. My 30-minute timer went off, but before we turn this up, I want to tell you that this only took 10 minutes to get up to 275 degrees. Press the button in, and we're going to turn it up to 500 degrees. And while this is coming up to that 500 degrees, I think it's a great time to do a walk around review on the Multitasker. We have a 28-pound hopper, and that's easily big enough to do an overnight cook. We have a Wi-Fi controller, and a couple of the options that this new pit has, it has a super smoke and a keep warm button. And the keep warm setting is set at 160 degrees. And that's a great feature to rest a brisket or a pork butt just in case you got done with your cook early and your guests haven't arrived yet. It comes with 2 meat probes, and that's simple enough. You just go ahead and plug it in. And the controller, it goes in 5-degree increments. Now the whole cooking chamber is dual walled and it's fully insulated. You can see how thick that sidewall is. I love that the pit has a shelf all the way across the whole front side. It's stationary, but it doesn't take up that much room. It comes with its very own Z Grills cutting board. It has a concealed grease catch, and I'm gonna look and see if I can find some little aluminum foil pans that we can put in there, because that'll make cleaning it up a lot easier. It has 2 locking casters and 2 stationary casters, but they all turn around in 360 degrees, and that makes moving this pit around a breeze. You have 1,068 square inches of cooking space. On the lower rack, you have 693 square inches, and this upper rack, you have 375, which will easily hold 8 to 10 pork butts. This pit is all porcelain coated steel. The pellet hopper has an easy dump so you can change out the flavors of your pellets anytime you want. It also has a nice little cord management, because we all know there's nothing worse than dealing with a cord dragging on the ground. Now, you don't have a stack on this pit. It's like most of the newer models that are coming out. You just have this side vent, and I think that probably might actually help the convection in that pit. Now I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes to finish up this burn off. My timer went off. Let's go ahead and shut down this 1100 2B. You know the drill. Hold that start button. We might as well check and see how we season this pit up. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. We got a nice patina across this whole pit. The sides and the back walls looking pretty dang good. Now, I know a lot of you are gonna ask me, what is my impression on this pit? Hands down, this is Z Grills' best pellet grill they've ever made to date. There's only 2 things on this pit that I think could be built a little heavier. Number 1, that grease pan is a little thinner construction. It's not too flimsy, but I think it could be just a tad thicker gauge. And number 2, the pellet hopper lid could be built with a little thicker gauge steel also. And one minor little suggestion is that they could put a magnet on the back of this cutting board, because if you don't pay attention and you open up this lid, your cutting board is just gonna fall off. With the added super smoke and keep warm mode added to that PID controller, that's a game changer for Z Grills. And a huge bonus for anybody that lives in the north, that pit being double walled and insulated certainly is going to help you on these winter cooks. I'm honestly pretty excited to get cooking on this pit, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is some chuck roasts. Now, if you're looking for a more in-depth video on the assembly of this Z Grills 1100 2B, please check out my good buddy Tommy over at Gallery Backyard Barbecue. He's got a step-by-step process of putting this Multitasker 1100 2B together. Well, that's all I got. Roll the nation.